I want full transparency of every transaction in my account, which has been swept clean. Millions of dollars are missing. There is no accounting records there. There's no conversion records. There's nothing. Now, when this occurred was middle of Saturday afternoon 2 weeks ago, when the company filed for bankruptcy in 101 locations plus. And so somebody is controlling that server. And for the sake of all of us as institutional investors who require this data for our taxes, for our compliance, for our accounting, for our reconciliation, we need the servers turned back on so we can see this information.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced former CEO of FTX, the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange that was worth $32 billion a few weeks ago, has a real knack for self-promotional PR. For years, he cast himself in the likeness of a young boy genius turned business titan, capable of miraculously growing his crypto empire as other players got wiped out. Everyone from Silicon Valley's top venture capitalists to A-list celebrities bought the act, including Mr. Wonderful, also known as Kelvin O'Leary. Kevin is the chairman of O'Leary Ventures, but you'll know him better as the co-host of Shark Tank. Kevin is also an investor in FTX, as well as the spokesperson for the exchange. In a recent interview, Kelvin continuously reiterated that he would get back the money that was taken from him during the alleged FTX scandal. And no matter what it was going to take, he had the resources to go after his money, and he will do that without holding back. He also points out that his lawyers are ready and on standby so that once the facts are clear about who and where his money was taken, he would sweep in to recover it, and whoever is responsible would be taken to jail. Fraud is the kind of criminal charge that can put you behind bars for life. With Bankman-Fried, the question is whether he misled FTX customers to believe their money was available and not being used as collateral for loans or other purposes. Meanwhile, when Kelvin was asked as to why he keeps supporting SBF regardless of what is going on, Kelvin stated that he believes that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and for now there is no conclusive evidence that SBF took the money, and until those facts are cleared, he won't be pointing fingers. We would now get into the video and listen to the full details of the interview and how Kelvin O'Leary plans to get back his money from FTX. As we proceed, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and drop your comments below.
The point is, we don't have any facts. We have a lot of hysteria. We have an angry mob crowd. We have a lot of conjecture. We have a whole lot of stipulations that no one can basically has any basis to make claims on. And my problem, and the way I'd like to deal with it, and the way I'm going to deal with it is, look, for full disclosure, I'm a shareholder in FTX International, a shareholder in FTX US, and I have corporate accounts on the FTX platform. Here's how I'm going to deal with this. I want full transparency of every transaction in my account, which has been swept clean. Millions of dollars are missing. There is no accounting records there. There's no conversion records. There's nothing. Now, when this occurred was middle of Saturday afternoon 2 weeks ago, when the company filed for bankruptcy in 101 locations plus. And so somebody is controlling that server. And for the sake of all of us as institutional investors who require this data for our taxes, for our compliance, for our accounting, for our reconciliation, we need the servers turned back on so we can see this information. I'm not saying open the exchange or operate it. I don't care about that. What I care about is being able to forensically audit every single transaction that occurred in my account. And then we'll have the answer of who did what and where and when, because one of the remarkable situations about this financial collapse, different to Enron, different to Lehman Brothers, different to Bear Stearns, is that 90+% of these transactions are on chain. Mm-hmm. They are irrevocable. They cannot be changed. They're on the public record forever, probably on AWS servers right now. In addition to every dollar wired into those accounts, whether they be SWIFT or Fed wires or ACH transfers, that's all reconcilable. So by the time this is over, and you ask me what Sam Bankman-Fried did, well, no, it'll be totally transparent. And until then, I'm not joining the herd. I'm just waiting for the facts. That's what I'm doing.
When asked about his opinions about who the possible culprit is and what he would tell his followers and listeners who are in a dilemma over the FTX collapse, Kelvin says that he is one of them and he is also faced with the same dilemma, but he won't point fingers at anyone yet. According to O'Leary, until we have information, until we have the facts, until we have the audit trail, until we have the conversions out of the account, until the accounts are open for scrutiny, nobody knows anything. He also went further to emphasize the effect of the FTX collapse, stating that even though it is quite embarrassing that this could happen, it has also opened the way for regulators and everyone to wake up and take charge of what is going on in the industry, which to him is somehow that should have happened long ago, and which it was in place could have prevented this massive fallout.
What we have now is everybody on earth raging against this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, saying he's a fraudster, he stole the money, he took it to his own account, it's hidden somewhere. How does anybody know that if we have no way to audit it? How can anybody make that claim? Are they not as baseless as what Sam Bankman-Fried is saying until we have the facts? That's all I'm saying. And I think Ackman's in the same camp. I want the facts. That's all. I don't think that's asking too much. And frankly, I can't retrieve my money until I know where it is. And that's the first thing I need to know. I need to know, where was my money transferred to? It's alleged it went to the Bahamian government, alleged it went to the US, alleged it was stolen in a hack. I don't know any of that yet. And I want to know where it is, because I've told all of my lawyers, keep your phasers on stun until we have facts. Then we're going to get that money back. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not the only institution in this situation. We all want our recovery path. We need a recovery path, but we don't have one.
Kevin, yeah, there is a lot still to be explored here, but what would you say to the people who are not seeing their money right now, the people who have invested their savings into this company who now don't know where that money is?
I'm one of them. That's exactly what happened to me, and I intend to fix it. I'm going to go after that money. I want it back. I have the resources to do it. I'm very fortunate. I have millions of followers. I'm going to take them on the journey. I'm going to get the money back. That's what's going to happen. And where the chips fall, I have no idea. Who's going to jail? I have no idea. Who was fraudulent? I have no idea. But I will find out. I can tell you that, because this is 100% auditable. 100%. I don't care if it takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, doesn't matter to me. You can't take my money and expect me to do nothing. I go after it, just as other institutions will do the same thing. Every lawyer and his dog is going after this thing right now, trying to figure out what happened, but we don't know anything yet. So why don't we just get the facts first? And if Sam Bankman-Fried can shine light on the facts, because from what I understand, he's been kicked out of the company, he has no access to even his emails, he has no information past the moment the company went into Chapter 11. So he's one piece of the puzzle. But we also have to talk to those that are going to go through the bankruptcy process. And that's the same team that did Enron. And what I want from them is total transparency on everything, including I want access to my account and all the information there. And we have regulators all around the world pursuing that same information. Before this is over, I'll be able to, in my own team, reconstruct every single transaction that occurred, because you can't take it off the blockchain, and I'll have access by the time I finish litigating to every transfer that was a SWIFT, an ACH, or a Fed wire. That's my assumption.
Right.
And that's the only way to do this. It's the only way to do it. This story is not just a financial collapse. It's a human story. How did this happen? How can some of the largest financial institutions on earth have got into this deal? We all have egg on our faces. We're all embarrassed. We all feel foolish. But at the same time, it's not over. We got to figure out what happened here so that A, we can regulate against this ever happening again. What is the, we should have regulated this exchange no different than the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange or any other exchange that's regulated. Put all the safeguards in. And I think that's going to happen. If there's any silver lining in this story, it has to be that. Regulators have woken up. The Hill has woken up. Washington's woken up. Everybody's talking about this disaster.
Right.
And we're going to talk about it until we get all the facts. Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be on Twitter every single day for years to come while we unpeel this onion and find out what happened.
At least $8 billion in customer funds are missing, reportedly used to backstop billions in losses at Alameda Research, the hedge fund he also founded. Both of his companies are now bankrupt with billions of dollars worth of debt on the books. The CEO tapped to take over John Ray III, said that in his 40 years of legal and restructuring experience, he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. This is the same Ray who presided over Enron's liquidation in the 2000s. Why is Kelvin O'Leary very bent on his defense of SBF? Do they have any relationships people do not know about yet? Or is this just a moral stance as he claims? Can the money FTX owes be recoverable? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Also, do well to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.